one perspective, it looks like an egg.
Looks like a Jaffa cake.
But then when they turn around, they look like little beds, don't they? We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, it's just completely. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Big bass.
Woofer.
Woofer, that's the one, a woofer. I mean, I had a woofer, but it wasn't electrical. It was the dog.
Oh. Hepta? 5? Anyway, so...
Let's not go down the scientific route. Let's just,
All of these time loops, there's like always a way to destroy them. And you could go mad.
Hey, welcome to Screen Time, the channel where we like to watch movies from our past and revisit them.
Yeah.
Or see new movies afresh.
Yes.
And if you like this sort of chit-chat, please like and subscribe our videos so you can watch more of our content.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Lou,
yes.
What did we watch this week?
This week, we watched Arrival.
Ooh.
I used to think this was the beginning of your story.
Arrival is a 2016 movie, and the cast is Amy Adams. We've got Forest Whitaker in there and Jeremy Renner in there as well. And it's basically a story about an alien. It could be an invasion. We don't know. And that's the point of the movie. Why are they here? Why did they come to Earth?
That's the question.
And that's the questions through the whole movie.
Yeah.
I'm learning that more objects like this have landed at as many as 8 other locations around the world.
It's really cool, actually. I quite enjoyed this one. So,
well, I think it's one of your go-tos.
It's not a go-to, but
No.
I've seen it a number of times.
Yeah.
I think it's a really clever film. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So when did you see this? Did you see it at the cinema or?
I don't think I saw it at the cinema. I think I saw it through you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, one of your
Okay.
DVDs. One of those, come round and watch a movie.
Come round and watch this movie. I think you'll like this movie.
I think you'll like this movie, a sci-fi movie. And I don't think I've actually seen it since then.
Okay.
So that would have been quite a few years ago.
Well,
And-
it did come out in 2016, so it's quite a
Yeah,
while
so
ago
it's a
now.
while ago.
I always think of it as like a modern movie, but...
I think it may have been that number of years that I had first seen it.
Okay, all right.
So it was a big recap for me. I'd forgotten so much about this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I forget a lot every time I watch it.
Yeah.
I watch it and then I just forget about it. I'm not like her in the movie at all. I just forget everything.
Oh, right. Yes.
So shall we go through it sort of like stage by stage and have a little discussion about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really clever because it starts off and you've got a voiceover of Amy Adams going, oh, I see things differently now, kind of thing.
Memory is a strange thing. It doesn't work like I thought it did.
And then you have this montage of her with her child and starts with about 8 years old. She's in a little cowboy hat. She's playing in the garden. And very quickly, it's like it's almost like the beginning of Up. You go through her life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
child,
telling of this young girl's life, which you realise is a very short space of time.
It's really sad. It's a really sad intro, and you realise that the girl's got some sort of disease. We don't know what it is. And then so she's, experiencing her daughter's life.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, obviously she dies. She's in hospital and she dies. And then we cut to the film. And she says something along the lines of, oh, and then they arrived.
Yes.
There are days that define your story beyond your life. Like the day they arrived.
She's teaching in this, because she's a linguistic professor. And she's teaching in this school or university. And suddenly on the news, or everyone's phone starts pinging and everything. And the news is that I think it's 12 ships, I think.
12, yes. Yeah.
Start coming down.
Yeah.
And they start planting themselves randomly around the planet.
This is from a site in Hokkaido.
This is worldwide. It is happening right now.
And of course, obviously, just absolutely, what the heck is going on?
Exactly.
Everyone's thinking
These
Independence
weird
Day.
eggs.
Are they eggs?
Well, no, they're not. I mean, from one perspective, it looks like an egg.
Looks like a Jaffa cake.
But then when they turn around, they look like little beds, don't they?
They are a very organic shape.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way, shall we?
Yeah, sorry.
No, what happens is that she gets employed by the US government to try and understand what this noise is, because they've obviously vocalizing.
So what can you tell me?
I can tell you that it's impossible to translate from an audio file. I would need to be there to interact with them.
Their speech patterns are just unfathomable. So they get her in, and she gets brought to this base.
How about we just talk to them before we start throwing math problems at them?
This is why you're both here.
I think it's Montana. So she gets brought to this base, and that establishing shot is so stunning. There's this. It's from the point of view of the helicopter as they're arriving. You're inside the helicopter with her, and you can see there's mountains, and the mist of the mountains is sweeping down.
Yeah.
And the ship itself almost creates a negative space in the frame, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's whole scenes in this film where the ship is almost like taking up 50% of the frame, just pure black. And then they're existing just in a positive space. It's so beautifully shot.
The way that it's shot, you feel the anticipation that she does, because you're looking through the clouds and you're trying to see, when are we going to see it? When are we going to see it?
Yeah.
And then when you see it, there's no clouds around it.
No.
It's just, as you say, it's in this empty space,
Yeah.
but it's so green, the land around it, and the blue sky. And I remember there was this one shot, and it's absolutely stunning, just the way it's all framed. You have the green, you have the clouds or the mist around.
Yeah.
But it's so bright and colourful.
Yeah. You can tell each shot is really composed, and it's always in the shot somewhere. Even if it's out of focus, there's just this presence of this thing.
Yeah.
Order the captain to medical. The procedure should take just a few minutes, and then we'll get started.
It's quite imposing, and obviously you're on her journey. You don't know it. You know just as much as she does at this point in the film.
Yeah.
And you
sort of learn with them.
You
don't
learn
you?
with them, which I love. I
Yeah.
love these kind of movies where you're completely in the dark and you've got no idea what's going on.
Who's being carted off in the medevac?
Not everyone is able to process experiences like this. I'm gonna get some blood from you.
She meets another member of the team. His name is Dr. Ian Donnelly, and it's Jeremy Renner.
This is Dr. Ian Donnelly. He'll be running his team here.
Yeah, have they responded to anything? Any shapes, patterns, numbers, Fibonacci?
We can't tell what they're saying when they respond to hello.
The colonel is Forest Whitaker, and obviously he's the military aspect of it, where they're automatically at stage 4 alert of like, oh, these things are going to kill us, kind of. There's that real balance of like, are they going to kill us or are they here to be friendly? And the whole globe at this point is in exactly the same situation. And obviously, depending on which country it's over, their response to this thing is different. So you've got China are very much more kind of like, oh, it's here to get us, whereas other countries are kind of more sort of,
Call sign for him is Big Domino. Whatever Shang does, at least 4 other nations will follow.
When it starts, they're all trying to communicate and they're all giving information of their findings. And so it's all very collaborative.
Yes, sir. We have orders to do the same.
Wait, these are our allies.
Colonel, you can't shut us down. Put us on radio silence.
Do it.
Yes.
But after a while, and it does feel like quite a while, because you can imagine there's a lot of, on the streets, people are scared.
Yeah.
People start to get quite nervous when there's no more news and they're not getting through in terms of communication and getting feedback as to why they're there.
Yeah.
So people on the streets are starting to worry. So then the governments are thinking, we're not giving anything to our population. We're not giving them any more information. People are getting more and more scared, and so gradually you get that fracturedness.
You get the
and communications are lost.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
We received a message from the Damn it! We need to be talking to each other.
You want to talk to them? Find out what this means.
Communication gets lost, people start getting scared, and then conspiracy theories start happening.
Yeah.
And then you get a real sense that the mistrust of government through the movie, and
being scared of the unknown.
Being scared of the unknown. Yeah. They need an answer. The human population need an answer. They need to know that they're safe. They need to know that. And of course, the governments can't provide them with that because they're just as much in the dark as anyone else. Basically, what they do is they send these linguists into the ship. And that's when the film kind of has this almost like a mood change. It's all grey. They're just wearing their hazmat suits, which kind of
Yes.
contrast that.
It's grey, but did you notice there's like a green hue on everything?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And it's very much, as soon as they get in those cars or the trucks to go to the spaceship, suddenly the mist comes down and then you get this green hue and it seems to stay with us for a lot of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. And then you've got the flipping of, and I think it's intended, you've got the flipping of gravity. So it's really disorientating because you think you're looking at them like this, but really you're looking at them like this.
Yeah.
And it's like...
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, it's just complete... Yeah, exactly. They go in there and it's just so bizarre. And there's that moment where they're actually in zero gravity until they leap through it to basically get to the different gravity.
Yeah.
But what I did find interesting is that the portal or the window that they're communicating to these aliens in very much echoes her house at the beginning.
Yes.
Me? Yeah, you know me. I'm about the same. Mom, I'm fine.
I noticed that kind of like on the second viewing when I watched it.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice this on the first viewing.
Because you don't.
Because you don't understand the movie. And you're right. When I watched it, it was like watching it anew again because I didn't remember the movie.
Yeah.
And I remember her having a glass of wine and it's a very big rectangular window and she's got a view over this lake or something. It's an amazing view. And then when she ends up in the spaceship, you're like, oh, this is really quite interesting. But one of the things that I did notice, and because I didn't know about the film, I was bewildered by it as to, oh, this is weird. I wonder if this means something. And then, of course, looking back, I think it did mean something.
It did mean something, yes.
So
yeah.
When I first started watching the movie and, you know, you've got obviously the very sad music that the movie starts in and you're thinking, this seems a very sad intro. And then when it comes to like modern day, it felt like they had Vaseline on the lens.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of things felt slightly out of focus, as if you're dreaming. And it was through a lot of the shots, like when they come to speak to her about being the linguist and they've got this project that they're interested in having her on board for. All of that section is really quite blurry. And I thought, is she dreaming? Are we in some kind of alternate state?
Interesting.
And I thought that's quite interesting because when you come to realise, you're thinking, well, where are we in time?
Yeah, exactly.
So actually that could be a technique that they did use.
Yeah, and I also noticed that the tree outside her window, in certain shots, it actually echoes the shape of the creatures.
Dr. Banks, you can start.
They've got a trunk and then they've got the roots of the tree. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember. It was inverted, but I remember seeing it and thinking, oh, they actually look like the aliens that come later in the movie. So there's some really clever stuff in here. She meets these heptapods, they're called.
Heptapods, yes.
And they're basically like, you know, octopus, really. Hepta? 5? Anyway. So...
I'm human. What are you?
Let's not go down the scientific route. Let's just,
So there's an interesting moment where she realizes that the communication just isn't working. They're not getting it. And I think the moment where they're using the whiteboards to communicate is a kind of like middle of the road, sort of like success. That's when they start broadcasting the circles and stuff. But I think the transformative moment for her is when she takes her helmet off.
They need to see me.
She's taking off her hazmat suit. Dr. Banks. You okay? You're risking contamination.
They need to see me.
They're all in their hazmat suits. They're worried about infection, etc., etc.
Yeah, they've got a bird in a cage.
Like a canary.
And...
So she takes off the helmet, and I think that's when maybe there's a kind of a bit of a thing going on where they're communicating a little bit more telepathically almost with her. that's when she starts having these visions of her, what you assume is her past life, and she's dreaming back to her daughter. And it's not until later in the film you realise the whole twist on it, really.
Well, actually, but there's an inkling, because she says something at one point, and I was like, oh, because I think it's when she has a flashback of her by a little stream or something, and there's a child there.
I don't understand. Who is this child?
Who is that child?
Oh, that's right. She does say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she says, who is that child? And then suddenly you're like, oh, hold on. This is a bit weird.
Yeah. And also there's a reaction when they're asking her about her physical health, and they said, are you pregnant? And she goes, no. But she does it in such a way that she doesn't even dwell on the fact that she might have been pregnant previously.
Currently taking any medications, allergies, pregnant?
So there's these little things that are only on repeated viewing would you pick up on them, obviously.
Yes.
We get to the point where they're starting to put together all this language, all these spheres and everything. They're realizing that these creatures communicate not in a linear way, but in a circular way.
Unlike all written human languages, their writing is semisiographic. It conveys meaning. It doesn't represent sound.
So they basically have got an entire sentence or entire story in one ring. But they explain it's incredibly clever because they must know exactly what they're about to say before they say it, because they have to construct the circle from both ends to fit. It's really clever. Anyway.
It looks stunning. I mean, as a piece of artwork on your wall. It might say
and there's bits,
something quite rude.
The framing of it is those circles are always very center frame as well. And there's some shots where the people are actually right in the center, and it's almost like a halo over their heads as well, particularly with her. There's a moment where you're starting to get introduced to some of the soldiers, and they're being fed conspiracy theories or alternate theories.
I mean, they're watching things
They're watching
online,
TV.
yeah.
You've got family calling them up and going, I'm so scared. Rumor is this, rumor is that.
Becky asked me if the monsters are going to kill Becky.
Honey, it's not going to happen.
These two particular soldiers...
But they're starting to question,
They're starting to question why they're there, what's going on. They're hearing that other countries around the world are responding in different ways to it. And they think that their particular government is doing it the wrong way. So they plant this bomb, don't they?
Yes.
Which is a really tense moment.
It is. And I mean, when all of that communication spat out... And
you mean where they're...
it's basically trying to warn them.
Yeah.
It's doing a countdown to when that's going to go off. That I felt so tense watching that, because I mean it's incredible, really. But it was such a different visual to look at. Suddenly it was just like poof, all this on the screen.
But also, I think they create that pulse, don't they?
Yes.
Which shoots them back to save them. So they get jettisoned down the corridor and they end up in zero gravity with that explosion behind them.
But also because it's very dark, it's, as we said before, the grade is very grey, but also that room is very dark. You've just got this bright light where you're looking out. Feels like you're looking into like a fish pond. A tank. You're looking at a tank.
Yeah.
And it's very whited out, and then the frame is very dark around the outside. And then suddenly when the explosion comes, it's super highlight orange. It's super saturated orange, and it's so bright.
Yeah.
So that actually in some ways
recoil.
you're thrown back from the screen as they're thrown back.
Yeah. I think it just highlights like the global tensions and stuff like that these things can go wrong. And then, obviously, to protect themselves, these ships all then raise up into the sky, and you're like, "Oh no, this is." And the problem,
it raises up and it does that, doesn't it?
Well.
That's when you realise it's not an egg shape anymore.
What shape does it become?
I don't know, but
a pancake. what's interesting at that point as well is that you get news from other countries around the world that they have interpreted the word. There's a particular word that could possibly mean tool or could possibly mean weapon.
Offer weapon.
I think actually China declares war on the aliens at this point. And then what happens is that the communication, the collaborative nature of this project gets fractured and a lot of the countries go silent and it ends up with just America by itself. Her and Ian are battling against this and trying to say, look, we don't know this. There's so many words that could mean weapon. It doesn't mean weapon. It could mean
and also it's their interpretation of the question that you're asking.
First, we need to make sure that they understand what a question is. Okay, the nature of a request for information along with the response.
They may say weapon to mean like a tool, something very, very
helpful.
Simple.
Helpful, simple. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also they might have been saying weapon for what just happened.
After a little while, you realise that they are actually calling her the tool.
Yes.
And she doesn't understand. She's got, well, what?
I'm
what
a
do you
tool.
mean? I'm a tool. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
It's not a weapon. It's a gift.
The weapon is their language. They gave it all to us. Do you understand what that means?
So we can learn heptapod.
They have to evacuate the site, don't they? Because they are literally going to go to the war with the aliens.
Well, she rushes back, doesn't she?
She rushes back because she makes the connection. She suddenly realises she has a vision of talking to the Premier of China.
That's right.
And he says something in her ear.
Yeah, because we realise that
time is not.
Yeah, and they've given her the ability
to look forward in time.
Be able to see forward in time.
You're the reason for this unification. All because you reached out to me on my private number.
And so she is able to look forward to a conversation that she has with him. And he gives her a bit of information about the last words
his wife said on her deathbed.
Yeah.
And then she immediately realises that that is a signature moment where she can stop this war from happening or at least get communication working again. So she runs back to the base, steals the main general or little
phone.
There's a sat line here dialing China. Here? What do you mean here?
Because obviously the number is in her head because he gives her the number in the future.
Yeah, it's all a bit...
And the information in the future for her to call him in the past or the present to say, your wife said this on her deathbed.
I will never forget what you said.
For him to go, oh, and then the circle happens, and they're like, okay. So because obviously the communication is in a circle, they experience time in a circle as well. So everything is cyclical.
Found the source of the phone call.
And then you realise, obviously, that because of that, these visions or these memories that she's having of her child is actually a child she's having later. And you realise that the father of this child is Jeremy Renner, who she's forming an attachment to in the present.
If you could see your whole life from start to finish, would you change things?
She already knows all this information going in and that's the breakup. The breakup of them is because it's so clever.
I mean, it's very clever, and you do you sit there and you wonder if, because it sounds like she already knew the information previously, because it's like there's double time in a way.
Yeah.
Because part of her dialogue when she's talking to her daughter, she says something like, your father doesn't want to be with me anymore because I told him that I knew.
I know something that's going to happen. I can't explain how I know, I just do. And when I told your daddy, he got really mad.
Before I had you.
Yes, that she was going to.
And but then that hasn't happened yet. And so you wonder, is she going to still go into that relationship with him knowing that she's going to have to make that decision, knowing that he's going to leave, knowing that she's going to have to say that to her daughter. So in some ways, there's like a double layer of time.
And there's that awful thing of like, would you want to break that cycle or not? Your life is almost read out to you. It's like, this is what you're going to do. It's a bit like the Back to the Futures. It's like, he knows he's going to invent that time machine. At any point, you could have gone, nah, I don't fancy doing that.
Maybe I'll invent something else.
Maybe I'll go on holiday.
Yeah.
And usually with these time stories, there's a way that it's like, well, hang on. Because when she meets the Premier at that thing and he gives that information to her, she has no recollection in that moment that she knows the information, but she would have known the information because her past version had been informed of it. So in all of these time loops, there's like always a way to sort of destroy them, and you could go mad.
But it's clever.
It's really clever.
It is clever. And then, of course, when we do get on that timeline within the current movie, you know, we end up in her apartment and she's there with Jeremy.
Yeah.
And you're looking out of that window and it's a bright day. And in some ways it kind of gives you a bit of clarity, because it's like you never actually see beyond that window in any other time. When you're in the spaceship, you just see mist, and they come in from the mist, and then it's like everything becomes clear.
Yes,
you know,
she's suddenly in the environment.
And you can see beyond.
You actually see them for the first time as well. You never previously you've just seen the legs and the arms, and then suddenly you see, and they've actually got like almost faces at the top of their stems.
That's right. So, you know, gradually everything starts to become clear. And I think even in her mind is suddenly open.
Yeah. I tried to do a chronological timeline of the film. And the reason they come to Earth in the movie is because in 1,000 years, they need help from the human race. So that's why they come back to us at this point to communicate this to us, and how we can foresee our future and better ourselves. Because obviously, if you can see your life in advance, you can
make some steps to maybe bring things
forward or whatever. So basically, at the beginning of it, there's like a really long-term plan that the heptapods do, because they know that they'll need humanity's help in 3,000 years. So they decide to give humans a tool that will enable long-term cooperation. And you know, that's the first thing they have to plan, and then they decide to come to Earth, and then it's all happens. So,
wow.
Do you want to talk about the sound design a bit? Because the sound.
I mean, I watched it. I watched it with my dog. Well, I mean, he wasn't watching it, but I mean, it felt like he was watching it. He started barking.
That's rare.
Yes, which is rare for him. I loved that sound because I don't know how they made that sound, but it's
got to be animal wails.
Yeah, and it was very deep and very, you know, very rumbly. I mean, I think if you had a sound bass, big bass, woofer, that's the one, a woofer. I mean, I had a woofer, but it wasn't electrical. It was the dog.
Oh.
Sorry.
Nice.
Cheap shot. It's a really, really interesting sound because it's made up of lots of natural noises, but the sound itself doesn't sound.
And also the soundtrack enhances that. There's this noises as they, you know, on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So it really, it works really well.
It does.
It does. You know what it is?
And it's intriguing.
It's intriguing, but also threatening. It can be taken in lots of different ways. It's threatening. It's scary. The film is scary, but it's powerful. It's scary. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So Lou, after watching this again,
yes,
what is your score for Arrival, and what are your final thoughts about it?
I think my score would be a 7.
Okay.
That's not to say I didn't enjoy it. Nope. I actually really enjoyed this watch again. I mean, these kind of movies, they're not necessarily my go-to.
No.
But I really enjoyed it. It's not something that I will watch often.
Okay.
But I think it holds up. I think it's beautiful to look at. And I think it's a nice story in a way. I mean, there are aspects of it that's really sad. I like the fact that it's a positive take on something. Yeah. You know, and so I really enjoyed having my little watch.
I just like the fact that the human race will exist another 3,000 years. You just think, well, that's a plus for a start.
Tick.
Tick.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do like this film. Again, like you, it's not a film that I watch a lot, but it's really worth a rewatch, and I really enjoyed that rewatch, and I would give it probably a 7.5.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Great.
It's good. It's good.
Great. And please let us know your thoughts on Arrival, and if you've enjoyed this little chatter of ours, please like and subscribe so that you can watch future content or past, because we've done a few up till now.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you on the next one.
That's brilliant. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.